Hey, good morning, and welcome back to the podcast, Evil Dungeon Master Universe Podcast. I'm your host, Evil Dungeon Master Vince. Hopefully, you're having a great day as usual. And today we have a new podcast on Tuesday. TheEvilDM.com is my website, and you can go there to see all and be all of everything I'm doing, all the actual plays I'm doing. This weekend, we'll be starting a new game with my group. We're probably going to be playing Starfinder this Saturday. Yeah, Starfinders this Saturday. The following Saturday will be cinematic unit system for Shadowrun the next following weekend. So we're having a lot of games going on. All of them will be available here on my site, evildm.com. It'll be available on my YouTube as well and via podcast, which I'll get you the link. But you can just go to rollhigherdie.com to get the main feed for those actual plays. Today I want to talk about a game that probably not a lot of people remember or probably even played at this point, but with all the recent hype and success with the video game Helldivers 2, there is Starship Troopers the Role-Playing Game. Came out from Mongoose Publishing in about 2005, so it was around the D20 boom. Generally around there. I think it was, that's when D20 Modern came out and 3E was moving over into 3.5, and everybody was making a D20 based game. It's mostly based on the book, but I should say it leans heavily on the movie from 97 and then the movie from 2004, and then that weird animated series, which was actually cool to watch. Just the art was weird. The Roughnecks, Rico's Roughnecks, Starship Troopers Chronicles. It was a license under Sony's Pictures, so Mongoose paid for that. It's hard to actually put all three of those things together, but they published two different editions again, the original hardback, and then they did a soft cover pocket edition, which I have from 2006 with a whole bunch of supplements. They had, I have Mobile Infantry Field Manual, the Iraqi Empire, United Citizens Federation, Boot Camp, and the pocket edition. They had various classes in there that in the game: the mobile infantry trooper, a chaplain, a comms trooper, engineer, field medic, hero of the Federation, light armor trooper. It was the equivalent of basically just military classes, somewhat to speak. They had other things like the telepath, lucky man, and like fleet officer and ship, things like that. And it had various different alien and arachnid bugs that you can make up for your adventure. I don't know exactly where it can go as far as the campaign is concerned, because I don't think it was really well received. While Starship Troopers, the movie, was pretty well received because people liked it generally overall, there were people that were fans of the book as well. I just think it came out during the D20 boom where a lot of people didn't. It was just so overwhelmed by all these different games from D20 that people were just like, oh, not another D20 game, I'm full. So I know they were working on a second edition of the game, which was going to take the game and move it into the Traveler's rule set, which would have been fun, but they lost the license to it. And I just looked that up because I remember them announcing a second edition for Traveler, and I was going to get that too because Traveler rules are really easy and fun to play. But they lost the license, so anyway, this game is just a D20 based game. Not a lot of people probably remember it. And I keep trying to think, how long would a game last for Starship Troopers? Sure, you can have various missions and battles on different planets and have your group go from planet to planet as a squad and fighting bugs and trying to rescue this or that, but it's going to have a small squad level battle compared to a large level, because you don't just go in as a squad. You go in as a giant unit of troopers, because that was the whole thing with the mobile infantry. You were there to be like the equivalent of a giant army just flooding in trying to kill these bugs, and generally most of the people got killed. If you didn't get killed, you got to move on to the next mission or get promoted, something like that. And I don't think it would last. I mean, I think people would enjoy it for a night of gaming, maybe 2 nights of gaming. I can't see this being a long-term campaign at all. While I enjoyed the movie and the cartoon series, I just don't see it really being too in depth. It's just a real simple 1, 2, 3 game. But I don't know if you happen to get a chance to grab a copy of it. I've seen various copies at like half price books and used bookstores for under $10. And it's generally very easy to play this game because it's a D20 game. So it was based off of D20 Modern and 3E rules. And you don't need the. This was after the fact that you needed to put in there requires the player's handbook. I hated that because of the way the old OGL license was before they updated it. So yeah, if you see one of these, go ahead and grab it. It's by Mongoose Publishing. They had 2 different. They had the hardback and then they had the pocket edition. Pocket edition is very small print, so if you have bad eyes or something, then you might want to grab the hardcover book. The only difference is it's smaller and it had some typo corrections and a few little added things into it. Nothing really big. But I did get a question here on the YouTube channel how to convince your group to play other games. And I know I've talked about this in the past, and it was one of the viewers on my YouTube channel, Justin Sellers, I forgot the numbers on his name, but he asked me how to get his group into other games because all they do is play just one game, and it's getting a little boring. And he mentioned he's only been playing it for about, I don't know, 8 years now, playing 5E, and has never taken a break. And I think I just went, whoa. I understand a group being together a long time because my group has been together since 2012, maybe 2013, a good 10 years, but we've played multiple amount of games between Phase Rip, Ghostbusters, DC Heroes, D&D, Palladium this, Palladium that, Star Wars. We never had one game. Though we've played one game for a long period of time, we've always transitioned into another game. Though our staple in the group is fantasy. And when I say fantasy, that's because we play different types of fantasy. The group likes the traditional type fantasy type game of D&D or something like that. Whether it is D&D or not, it doesn't really matter. They just like fantasy, and I understand that. So when we go back to fantasy in the future, I may pick a different game, like D6 or Pathfinder or something. Just something new. Keep the old refreshed into something new is what I always say. And take a break from your game. And I don't understand why people don't want to play anything else. I understand you have your game. That's what you want to play, and you want to play nothing else. But you need to take a break from that game, otherwise you burn yourself out on that game and don't want to play it anymore, and it becomes a disgusting mess in your stomach, and you're just like, I don't want to play it anymore. That's at least how I was. And when I was a kid, we played so many different games. It was so much fun just to see different perspectives. And yeah, I always went back to D&D fantasy because that was always something was I loved the most. I loved AD&D. Always went back to AD&D, but I took a break in between to appreciate what I love. And that's what I'm suggesting you do when you talk to your group about switching games. How about just a small little campaign just to see how this system is and play it for a little while just so you can appreciate what you love. And then once that campaign is over, or whatever, say you say 10 gaming sessions is over, you can say, what'd you guys think? Well, it was a fun time. We want to continue. Or it was all right. Well, I want to go back to D&D. And yeah, that's what you do. But at least you got them to try to do something different. And if you can't get your group to move or budge from the one game that they want to play, then either you have to deal with it or sadly just move on. You can't force people to do something they don't want to do. You can't force people to play a game they don't want to play. That's not how it works. And unfortunately, that's what life. You have to deal with it. And like I said, find a different group or ask them to at least try it or make a second group. I've done that before too. We had a large group of people, and one of the groups I was in, we had about 12 people. We were playing the same game, so we split into a subgroup of the group, and maybe that'll work for you. Maybe there's 6 people in your group, and 2 people want to play something different while you run it. A 2-person game is not bad. At least it gets you to play something different. So you may want to try that angle. Just see if there's a couple people that want to make a secondary game or a game before the game. Maybe you meet up at 12 to play your game. You can meet up at 10 or something like that, or meet up afterwards and play afterwards. We've done that before too. There's a lot of things you can try to ask your group, and overall, if they're going to say no, they're going to say no, and if you can't take it, you have to leave or just deal with it. I know it's not the advice you want to hear, but that's basically the advice I have to give you. It's the only thing that's ever worked for me. Either try to present something or just be like, all right, this is not for me. I like you guys, but I can't keep playing the same game over and over again. It's just not fun for me anymore. Or maybe it is fun, but you're just tired of the same game over and over. I don't know. I need more information. Tell me what you think in the comments below. What advice do you have for this fella? Don't forget to head over to Apple Podcasts, rate me there, rate me on Spotify. Don't forget thumbs up, comment, like, subscribe. We'll see you later, folks. Keep it original, keep it old school. Good night, God bless, and don't forget, no gaming, yeah, no drama, no clickbait, all gaming here on this channel. Good night, everybody.